let's get you rich first. Right? That's why I'm very practical about it. Because look, Buddha was a prince. He started out really rich and then he got to go off in the woods. In the old days, what happened was if you wanted to be peaceful inside, you would become a monk. You would give everything up. You would renounce women, you would renounce money. You would go out in the woods by yourself. Today, we have this wonderful invention called money. You can do great things for society, and society will give you money for giving it things that it wants, and that will give you the time and the energy to pursue your own internal peace and happiness.
Are those things even possible?
Everybody can be rich. Imagine if tomorrow we could wave a wand and everybody was trained as a scientist or an engineer. Even if you weren't very good, you had enough understanding of computers, you could write some code, you could build some hardware. And don't tell me people can't do it. That's just you looking down on somebody else. They can do it. They just have to be educated. We would all be done within 5 years. Robots would be doing everything, cooking food to flying airplanes. We would be doing all creative jobs to entertain each other, and we would have wonderful lives. So it is really just a question of education, nothing else.
I go by niches what I read. So I read 10 books on raising money. Going and hey, how to start a media company. So I'll read all the books of the giants.
Okay, you gotta walk me through how you're reading all these books, because I probably don't have half the things you have going on. Where are you finding the time? Is it audio? Is it?
If I'm reading a biography, I can get it in audio and listen to a 2.0 speed. If I'm reading a business strategy book, I can't listen to it. I have to read it because I need to be focused on how you do X, Y, Z. But if it's autobiography and it's a storytelling, you're kind of staying with the narrator. Be amazed how much you have with drive time, travel, flying. But more than anything else, if you stay in curious mode, it's not how do you do it, it's like food. How do you find 3 times a day or 4 times a day to eat? So the same way you're feeding your belly, you're feeding your mind as well. We don't ask the question, how do we find time to eat, but we ask the question, how do we find time to read books?
And if I had done things differently, I would have probably gotten to this millionaire point way sooner than age 26. Every time I would do something, I was basically trying to invent the playbook from scratch. I didn't know anything about sales and marketing. I didn't know anything about operations or finance or delegation or management. I didn't even know that these words existed. Like, obviously I'd heard the word marketing, but I just thought, what is marketing? I don't know, billboard. And had I just bothered to read a book about sales and marketing, it would have completely leveled up the business, because I would have had a firmware update in my own mind. I'd have been like, oh, that's how you do it. These are just a handful of the business books that I've read in the last few years, and had I read like literally any of these when I was younger, or anything similar to business books, I would have realized that actually these are the mistakes I'm making. This one in particular, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. This book literally describes all of the things I was struggling with when trying to build that first business. And had I just known this existed, I'd been like, wow, I don't have to be so overwhelmed. I don't have to do all this stuff by myself. I can hire people. Bloody hell, that would have blown my freaking mind. And I just wish someone had told me that even these books even existed. I had no idea.
So understanding how to take calculated risk. We're not blowing up your whole life, but you're taking that chance on moving your life forward so that you can live a life that everybody else can't is insurmountable. And the reason colleges don't teach it is because colleges shy away from failure. If they taught you how to go out there and make mistakes and fail, that would be a bad business for colleges whose #1 job is job placement. So you have to learn how to be an entrepreneur on your own. You have to learn how to be a salesperson on your own. Remember the visual. Success stands on a mountain of failures. So you've got to learn to take risk. School is, almost by definition, rigid. And it's done on purpose. You have to have a schedule. You have to have assignments. Your ability to adapt an industry, a market, a business, a career is going to be something that you're going to need to learn.